Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be covering the iceberg of the most mysterious internet theories slash mysteries there is. We're going to be referring to this iceberg right here. This image is pretty old. I think it's been covered already. It's from like 2 years ago. I don't know if it's been covered on YouTube yet. There's similar ones, but I found this one and I thought I would just cover it. There's a lot of theories and things to cover, so it's going to be split into 2 parts. This is the first part, so I don't know when the second part is going to be up, probably like next year. But yeah, this first part we'll be covering tier 1 to 3, and then the next part we'll cover 4 through 6. But if you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing because I make content like this every single week, or at least I try to. But yeah, as usual, I don't want to waste any of you guys' time, so let's dive straight into the iceberg. TimeCube. TimeCube was a personal web page founded in 1997 by proclaimed wisest man alive, Gene Ray. It was basically a website that published all of Ray's theories of everything, also called TimeCube. The TimeCube concept goes by saying that all of physics and education is wrong. Ray also asserts that there are 4 simultaneous days within a single rotation of the Earth. Ray also argues that time-space continuum of the universe is shaped like a cube, while also blaming the academic circles for denying the inevitable truth of 4 days per rotation. Ray also asserts repeatedly and variously, but the academic world doesn't really take his TimeCube theory seriously. But pretty much this is just referring to a website with all of Gene Ray's theories about TimeCube. Captain Cutchy's key lime pie. This is a whole rabbit hole all on its own, but I'll try to summarize it down. It's about these spam posts that dated back as far as 2009. These posts were reviews left on various websites about a restaurant called Cutchy's Key West. The strange posts bragged about how good their key lime pie was and that the reviews are very repetitive and odd, and some of them even cover themes of sex and politics. But they all mentioned the same thing, which was Captain Cutchy's key lime pie. The restaurant closed back in 2006, but there were reviews and random posts about Captain Cutchy's key lime pie all the way until 2016. So this person or bot generated thousands of accounts on websites to praise how good Captain Cutchy's key lime pie was, even though the restaurant has been closed since 2006. Now, like I said, it's a huge rabbit hole all on its own, and it involves multiple accounts and finding out who the captain was, and also finding out whether the restaurant even existed in the first place. But I think the biggest mystery was these reviews, because they were very strange and weird, and there were thousands of them scattered all over the internet bragging about how good Captain Cutchy's key lime pie was. SuicideMouse.avi. SuicideMouse.avi is a lost episode creepypasta. Pretty much it's this story based off an old unseen Mickey Mouse episode. It's a video showing Mickey Mouse walking down the street with distorted music playing in the background. Minutes into the video it turns to black and white and screaming can be heard in the background. At the end of the video, Mickey Mouse starts to speed walk really fast with a smile, and then eventually collapses, presumably dying, I guess. It's one of those videos that can be found on YouTube, by the way, if you're interested, but it's one of those types of videos that you show a little kid and they won't be able to sleep the next night or something. Rotten.com. Rotten.com was a shock website that was active from 1996 to 2012. It was basically a website dedicated to obscure and bizarre occurrences. The main page holds a collection of generally disturbing images taken around from the globe. Rotten.com back in the day had gained a lot of controversy in the past for some of its shocking content. It was essentially a website that had some pretty disturbing images on it, and it's to shock the viewer, but other than else, that was it. Augrish. Augrish was another shock website like Rotten.com, like the previous one. Augrish was a website that presented uncensored images of executions and war accidents. The website was also a challenge to the viewer, because on the website page it stated, "Can you handle life?" Pretty much insinuating to the viewer hey, can you handle kind of reality? Augrish was soon transferred over to LiveLeak though in 2021. So the website no longer exists, but instead it just merged with LiveLeak, that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. Final Fantasy House. This has to be one of my most favorite entries on this list, just because of how weird it is. But this is an old strange story to say the least, but it's about this fandom slash cult, or should what other people call it, otherkin, I guess. So how it goes is that this writer from a website who was a fan of Final Fantasy made a website that explained and showed information about some of the characters in Final Fantasy. At the time, the website would get a lot of traffic and fans because it was one of the only websites that did that back in the day. So one day he interacts with the fan, and she believes that she is from a different lifeline, and she believes that she is part of the game and is one of the characters inside of Final Fantasy. So later on, Hojo, yes, that's the fan's name, invites the writer of the website to an apartment with other people that believe they're also Final Fantasy characters. He agrees and goes and has a pretty good time and regularly goes back every couple months. Eventually, the group at the apartment convinces the writer to move in and stay for the season, and so the writer agrees and moves in. By the way, when he moves in, he is assigned to believe that he is the character Zack from Final Fantasy. So he moves in, and over time things start to become very strange and unsettling for Zack. So moral of the story, this is a house of people who are brainwashed into believing they are Final Fantasy characters, essentially a cult because the leader gives them a specific character to believe who they are, and they give Zack and many others one hell of a time. I highly recommend watching Frederick's video about it. He goes into detail about the story and just all the characters, and it's really good. Mysterious Internet Song. The Mysterious Internet Song is a song that was recorded from a German radio station between 1982 and 1984. This song is called the Mysterious Song because nobody has any information about the origins of the song. People have been searching for this song since the early 2000s, but nobody knows the author or where it came from. Facts like the band's nationality and the exact year of the recording are unknown. Until this day, we haven't gotten any information about the whereabouts of the authors or even the correct title of the song. Like if you type the Mysterious Internet Song on YouTube, it pops up and it sounds pretty nice, I guess. Cicada 3301. Cicada was an internet mystery that led many people on a goose hunt. Cicada started in 2012 and was an organization or individual who started to post puzzles for people to solve on a forum. The first people to solve the puzzles were taken to a web browser that recruited them as intelligent individuals. The puzzles focused heavily on data security, cryptology, other internet anonymies, It has been called the most elaborate and mysterious puzzle of the internet age, and yeah, for good reason. But from the information that is out now, apparently it was an organization that wanted to recruit like-minded individuals to work for them. So Cicada 3301 was this huge goose hunt that people had to decrypt these codes and pretty much just solve these random puzzles. I'm sure a lot of you guys have watched Lamino's video about it, and if you haven't, I recommend giving it a watch. He explains everything. ilovebees.com. I Love Bees was an alternate reality game that took place in 2004. It was a message advertised by a hidden message in a Halo 2 trailer. Players soon looked into it and started to solve its puzzles and audio logs and just look really deep into it. At first glance, players noticed that the website appeared to be hacked, and it displayed all these mysterious messages on the screen and just looked really odd. The site gradually revealed more of the fictional backstory involving a marooned AI stranded on Earth as it attempt to fix itself. More than 250,000 people viewed the I Love Bees website when it launched on July 2004, and more than 500,000 returned to the site every single day to see if it was updated. Eventually getting closer to the Halo 2 release, the website got a lot of attraction, reaching millions of viewers around the globe. So pretty much it was this advertisement stunt set by the Halo 2 devs for this type of Halo 2 trailer, to promote the game pretty much. Yay Video Games. Yay Video Games is a Reddit mystery that revolves around the user Yay Video Games. Yay Video Games seemed a little off at first because what he would do is he would spam and repeat the same line over and over again, which was Ubisoft Go Steamworks bye bye, always on DRM. This all started in 2010 on a Reddit thread posted by I Wish I Was a Meme, asking users a list of some of their favorite Oblivion mods. Yay Video Games would respond with, quote, the uninstall button. The game is great, Ubisoft Go Steamworks bye bye, always on DRM, but you often go to work, always on work, doctor.check. Out the junk it leaves behind in you. Yay Video Games would then continue to spam the entire thread with Ubisoft Go Steamworks bye bye, always on DRM. Yay Video Games also began posting surreal images unrelated to the phrase, as well as an image of a handwritten scroll of like the phrase he continued to repeat. So it was this user on Reddit that would spam the same line over and over again. Nexpo also makes a video going into the messages and details that I recommend giving a watch if you're interested. Lake City Quiet Pills. This is talking about another Reddit mystery revolving around the user Religion of Peace. As for Lake City Quiet Pills, it's referring to an unsolved mystery about the image hosting site LakeCityQuietPills.com, who Religion of Peace is suspected to be running, aka Milo. Somehow speculated that LakeCityQuietPills.com was a front for ex-military contract assassins who have drawn connections like for attempted assassinations between the sites. Many believe the user Religion of Peace is behind this website and is an assassin himself who has tried to assassinate people and works for the government. This discussed a lot of conspiracy theories around the site and speculations that Lake City Quiet Pills was involved in assassinations of many important people. Untitled.com. This is talking about the site Untitled.com. If you go there, it says that you have to log in or sign up. If you want to log in, you need to get an email from a specific account, and if you want to sign up, you need to send a post to the user, but he never responds. The only thing I can find about this is something on Quora where there was this guy going by the name of Joey Owen who mentioned that it was one of his old sites. He states that him and his team moved on to a new website, but I don't know if he's mentioning this website or another website. Pretty much this guy Joey Owen was the owner of Untitled.com, but honestly I couldn't find anything else about this website. There's not really that much like information about it. Shay St. John. I don't think you guys realize how much I hate this face, but it will be up on the screen because since I have to see it for hours, so do you. Shay St. John is a fictional character, an art project who appears in a series of short films on YouTube. The creator of this mask was Eric Forner, an LA-based artist who passed away on February 25th, 2010. From complications related to his alcohol abuse. The videos are interesting to say the least, but most people find them disturbing. It's essentially just these people dressed with rubber masks and they do like very bizarre and strange things. It's supposed to be art, but most find it random and strange, but the videos are a classic on YouTube that many remember, and yeah, this is a terrifying face to say the least. Ted the Caver. Ted the Caver is a creepypasta story that originally appeared as a series of blog posts written by a Splunker named Ted, recounting his experiences exploring a mysterious cave. This is arguably one of the earliest creepypastas to ever exist on the internet, but the story goes that Ted and his friends were to explore this cave in Utah called the Interstate Cave in the late 2000s. Whenever they would explore the cave, they would have strange occurrences and encounter screaming, unnatural wind, and strange like hieroglyphs. He would continue to blog his experience up to May 19, 2001, until he detailed a 3-week period of time after their last visit to the cave. Ted claims they suffered from hallucinations and nightmares, leading to Ted and his friends re-entering the cave for one last time for closure. After this, the story would spread all over the internet, and many come to find out that this was nothing but a creepypasta and pretty much just fake. Basically, Ted stated that he just elaborated upon a real experience that he had in the cave, just that he just wanted to add supernatural elements into it. Thisman.org. This is a website for the sole purpose that shows a face of a man that I'm sure many of you have seen. The whole purpose of this website is for them to identify the man, because many claim they have seen him in their dreams. In January 2006 in New York, the patient of a well-known psychiatrist draws the face of a man that has been repeatedly appearing in her dreams. In more than one occasion, the man gives her advice on her private life and stuff like that. And from January 2006 until this day, at least 2,000 people have claimed they have seen this man in their dreams in many cities all over the world. The website claims they want to understand who this man is, and for those who have seen him, they want to have communication among each other so they can help solve the mystery, because nobody actually knows who this man is, and pretty much that's the whole purpose of the website, to find out and identify who this man is. So if you have seen this man, you might want to visit this website. Junko Junsoi. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I butchered that. This was an ARG that began in 2009 and then disappeared off the face of the internet. It begins with a woman calling herself Junko, messaging people all over the internet, searching for kindred spirits and her little sister. People later learned that Junko's little sister was being held captive in a cell somewhere when a fake Google page was discovered that led to what appeared to be a live feed of the girl in her cell. Thousands of players got involved in this and were on both sides with immersive characters and these types of innovative puzzles, and it deep dives into history, mythology, and just code breaking, cryptology, all of this. This was a very controversial ARG for the main fact that many of the players had to do things that nobody should ever do. Many of the players had to harass the other team or dox them so they can stop reaching or solving the puzzles. This was a very controversial ARG. It ended in 2009 when the users stopped posting puzzles for the players to solve and mysteries. The game though resurfaced in 2004 in the form of an app called Alpha Archive. It continued the normal storyline, and it came out that the creators of this ARG were some of the devs that made Gears of War and many others. So this was an ARG that had pretty much players scattered all over the internet trying to solve these codes like any ARG would, but this was a very controversial one to say the least. Jerk City. Jerk was a webcomic that was published in 1998. It is essentially a comic story that involves the character Pants, Rans, Dudes, and Spigot. The comic contains no actual character development, plot, storyline, or any continuity. The creators described it as a story told out of order. The whole dialogue and jokes are made by 3 years worth of logs from the group's chat room to create the comic strip. So some of the jokes and typical strips from the comic include unisex jokes, inappropriate jokes, fat jokes, and everything else that webcomics lacked back in the day. There's not much else to say about this entry though. It's pretty much just a webcomic that was published back in 1998. Heaven's Gate site. Heaven's Gate was a new religious movement started in 1974 and led by Bonnie Nettles and Marshall Applewhite. Scholars and many others have described the cult to be characterized as a UFO religion. The central belief of the group was that followers could transform themselves into immortal beings by rejecting their human nature, and they would ascend to heaven, referred to as the next level. The cult got pretty big. They recorded many hundreds and started to gain a lot of attraction in the mid 1970s, but sooner or later the leader of the group, Nettles, would die due to cancer in 1985. This really challenged the group's views and the beliefs, and they really wanted to see whether this was real or not. But sooner or later the group banded together to a new belief that the body was merely a container or vehicle for the soul, and that their consciousness would be transferred to new next level bodies upon death. On March 26, 1997, deputies of the San Diego County Sheriff's Department would discover the bodies of 39 active members of the group, including that of Applewhite, in a San Diego home. They had all participated in a mass suicide, a coordinated series of ritual suicides. Just before the mass suicide, the group's website was updated with this final message, quote, "Hail Bob brings closure to Heaven's Gate. Our 22 years of classroom here on planet Earth is finally coming to conclusion. Graduation. From the human evolutionary level, we are happily prepared to leave this world and go with T's crew." A strange cult to say the least, but the website is still up till this day. Dionea House. Dionea House is an internet story that was told from 2004 to 2006. The story is told from multiple points of views and different types of formats. The story contains a vast variety of characters, and the whole plot of the story is that all these people have very weird experiences with a certain house. They explain how the house acts weird, and they try to explain what the house might be. The story contains various logs and emails about the house. The story can be found online. If you're interested, I recommend giving it a read, but pretty much it's this creepypasta about this house that is haunted. A858. A858 is a mysterious subreddit made in 2011 posting strange hexadecimal sequences multiple times per day. Reddit users decided that the seemingly random characters on the subreddit looked like a code and thus began to decipher the posts here. Subreddits about r/A85 began to spring up and theories began to emerge about the original thread's purpose and where it came from and the origin. There were tons of coded messages, so the Reddit community really had to band together to solve some of them. But a breakthrough occurred in 2015 August when on one of the r/A85 forums there was a user posting the exact same codes that the creator was posting, and then sooner or later they found out that the creator was doing a Ask Me Anything. This allowed the users on Reddit to gain contact with the creator behind A858. In middle of 2016, the peak of interest was at an all-time high, and more users than ever were trying to decrypt the codes from the subreddit. Sooner or later, the creator would stop posting and the subreddit became private and everything would go silent until there was some final closure. Turns out once the A85 mystery came to an end, some Reddit users managed to get contact with the A85 creator, and who revealed that he was getting paid to post these cryptic messages by a company. The creator stated that the company no longer wanted to fund the project's last messages, so they stopped paying him entirely, and then the A85 subreddit would go private once again, and that would be the end of it. So pretty much A858 was a subreddit that would post these cryptic messages, and then pretty much the creator was getting paid to do this by a company, but the company stopped paying him, so that's pretty much the end of it. Meat Sleep. Meat Sleep is a YouTube channel that was made on March 28th, 2014. Meat Sleep would upload these very strange videos and were disturbing to many. The channel would have ties with other people on different channels, and they would continue to upload these videos with cryptic videos, but the more people investigated, the more they found some ties with other channels called Soonkin that would also be uploaded on YouTube. But other than that, there's not much information to say other than it was just a team of small creators that wanted to make this short horror series, kind of like an ARG. Wyoming Incident. This was an incident that took place in 1987. The Wyoming incident is a video about a hijacked television broadcast. The hijack showed a compilation of disturbing images and a text with some distorted noises in the background. The video contained numerous clips of disembodied human heads and just sort of this static emotions. Many that watched the broadcast complained later about getting certain effects such as vomiting, hallucinations, and headaches. But later on though, it was found that this hijacking never took place and that it was just a hoax and simply a created story. Sometime prior to late January 2007, a series of videos began circulating online about a creepypasta story about this fictional television broadcast hijacking that occurred in the area of County, Wyoming, Nebraska. So essentially it was this type of prank or alternate reality game that the internet created. JohnTitter.com. This is a website relating to time travel, but most importantly, this website was made for a man called John Titter, who was a time traveler himself. John first made his appearance on a public forum on November 2nd, 2000, under the name timetravel_0. He stated that he was from the year 2036 and told everyone about his time machine and events that would happen in the future. In 2001, John stated that he would leave and return to his timeline in 2036, and this would be the last time we would hear from John. The website shows photos of the time machine that John presented and goes more into depth about the theories of time travel and how it might be possible. It also shows quotes that John made about future events that happened. So the website is still up till this day, but it doesn't look like it's been updated in a while. Bitterroot footage. In 2012, a college student called Chad Logan was looking for furniture on Craigslist. He eventually found a match and headed down to a garage sale to check out some items. He did end up buying some furniture. Among the items, he also got this small wooden box on the side. Chad opened the small box and found many strange old photos within it. The photos showed a cloaked figure, and one of the photos even showed what appears to be a person covered by chains. Along, Chad found an old tape that can be played. He proceeds to play the film. So then when it plays, what is shown on it is quite unsettling. The film shows the same cloaked figure entering a building and playing with the covered figure surrounded with chains. After that, the camera proceeds to follow the cloaked individual as he throws a head covered in sheets into an abandoned area. Chad then proceeded to make a YouTube channel and a website to find the source of the footage on the tape. Now, till this day, nobody really knows what the film is and where it came from, but I found an old Reddit post that said this user that is now deleted claims to be the author of the whole thing, and he says it's all a hoax. Now, he made the whole story up just to gain some attention. He continues to give details about the film and explanation about it, so yeah, it's up to you guys whether you want to believe whether this is real or it's just fake. Yvette's Bridal Form. This is a hellish website that is a complete cluster mess. By the way, if you visit it today, it automatically downloads a music file to your computer, and when you play it, it's some like music you would hear at like a circus or a party. I don't really know. But other than that, the whole website is a trip to say the least, but it ranges from weird pictures to numerous amounts of links that lead you to like alien conspiracies to normal dress attire. It even shows you how to do some strange demonic rituals. Nice. The more you dig into the website, it gets very strange and it dives into conspiracy theories about the government issues. So it turns out the website was created by an individual called Sean Terrence, and he is a fiction author. So most of what you see on the website is actually just things that are quoted from his novels, but that still doesn't explain the strange design of the website. Google Translate mystery. I couldn't find much about this entry except for one thing. But the only thing I could find about this is that sometimes Google Translate would spit out some strange religious prophecies. In an article published by Vice, they claim that if you type the word dog 19 times, it says this, quote, "Doomsday clock is 3 minutes at 12. It reads, we are experiencing characters and dramatic developments in the world, which indicate that we are increasingly approaching the end times and Jesus' return," quote. I'm pretty sure Google patched this up now because I tried it recently and nothing happened. Another one was that if you type the word ag in Somali a couple times, it will bring up the name Lord and some biblical references. Again, I think Google patched this up because they don't work anymore, but other than that, I couldn't find much about this entry other than those two incidents. Mother Horse Eyes. Mother Horses is a Reddit user going by the name _9 mother 9 horse 9 eyes 9. This is referring to a sort of narrative story from Reddit comments made from Mother Horse Eyes. Mother Horse Eyes would make some strange comments detailing very strange situations. Every entry is posted as a comment to a seemingly random Reddit thread. Some of the comments have nothing to do with the actual post and would often bring up flesh interferences and certain incidents into random stories. A subreddit would be created trying to find out what is going on behind these strange comments and trying to find out who Mother Horse Eyes was. Mother Horse Eyes would soon come out with a self-post and explain that he is a man and that he is simply making fictional narratives for himself. Mother Horse Eyes would make one more final post and stop posting. Mother Horse Eyes would then later claim that he has been working on fixing all of his narratives and forming them all into a book, but that he is not anywhere close to finishing. normalp4normalpeople.com. So this one took me a while to understand, but this is referring to a website that is exactly what the entry is called. No, not really, I'm joking, but this website is strange and very disturbing and it no longer exists, and thank God. If you were to type that in today, it will lead you to a YouTube channel, which I don't know if it's related to the old website or not. The whole concept of the website was, what do normal people get off to? The homepage was someone rambling about the whole topic, and every word in it had a link attached to it, and that link would lead to hundreds of other hyperlinks. Most of the links would lead to downloadable video file links to strange videos. Most of these video files had nothing to do with the concept of the website at all. The website was then posted on a public forum and started to gain some traction, and many people started to explore all the links to find the video files. As mentioned previously, most of these videos had nothing to do with the topic. For example, one of them was called Jimbo.avi, which just showed a mime performing his act. Many would continue to search through the video files until they found the final one, which was the worst of them all. The video file was called useless.avi. which displayed a blonde woman recognizable from a previous video tied down to a mattress in a room with her mouth taped shut. She is seen struggling to free herself but can't. A couple of minutes later, the door is opened by a person wearing a dark suit with a mask. Later, a hairless chimpanzee runs into the room and starts to get quite upset and starts to show signs of aggression. The chimp quickly begins attacking the woman and mauling her to death over the course of the next several minutes, then eating her corpse until the film cuts out. By the way, this lasts for 18 minutes. Now, nobody actually knows whether this actually took place other than just a couple of screenshots, but disturbing nonetheless. Ori Chef. I am sure you guys have seen this woman somewhere on the internet, or maybe this one, but the Ori Chef is an internet legend about Majori Siroi. She is said to be a cannibalistic woman who likes to eat children. Quite the turn, but this originated from her Facebook, and people discovered that she had a handful of photos all the time. They also realized that every friend and linked account was just another version of Ori, same photos but photoshopped just a bit differently each time. In a couple of the profiles, people say they found posts of gore and her talking about how she wants to kill and eat her children. The creepy red filtered photo is just from one of these accounts where there's a story about a girl who wanted to be beautiful, so she had a bunch of surgery done. In actuality, the woman behind all the profiles was contacted and said that she originally made all these profiles for Facebook games. So this is just some creepypasta that someone made up. Dozer Fleet Wiki website. So what I can find about this is that it's about a man who is dedicated to making his own wiki about his made up company. That's right, made up. So it's hard to understand, but I've tried to understand it myself and I still get a bit confused. But this possibly might be a mentally ill person, but let me see if I can get this first try. This is about a person who is a Christian fundamentalist conservative / libertarian nice guy / MRA / Fedora type chronicles his pathetic life by imagining himself as the CEO of a massive media conglomerate, Dozer Fleet Productions, for which the Dozer Fleet Wiki acts as a sort of simultaneously in-universe and out-of-universe reference material. So he made his entire wiki dedicating his life that he is the owner of a production called Dozer Fleet Productions. The wiki includes many fictional publications, films, and TV series, including Stationary Voyagers, a Star Trek style reference starring Cincinnati's office supplies. It also includes non-fictional publications such as creepy letters he sent to various girls whenever they moved out of the state to get away from him, and blurry indistinct pictures of said girls. So essentially this guy made his own entire wiki / company, and after looking through it, it shows that he actually has customer service and special operations within the company, but in reality it's just one guy. So this one guy made up this entire company that doesn't even exist in the first place. Happy Valley Dream Survey. This is about a survey that took place in Portland, Oregon in 2015. So all around Portland, these posters claim that if people had seen recent dreams, then to contact the email or phone number on the paper. At first sight, this seems like a prank pulled off by some kids, because the survey was nothing. If you put it into Google, nothing was found. However, the phone number did work, with a female robotic voice asking them to describe their dream after the tone. After one hangs up the phone, nothing is received back from the number. No such posters have been cited until 2020, when very similar posters have been found again. These similar posters were found in Utah for the Happy Valley Dream Survey. Both posters were extremely similar, and again the posters had a working phone number. Again, a female robotic voice told the caller to tell them their weird dream. After hanging up, the caller would get an automated message from the number thanking them. Many on Reddit were skeptical and looked into it, but nothing was really found about it. Hell.com. What I can find about this is that Hell.com was a popular website due to its name. It was created from August 1995 to 2009 by an image called Kenneth Aronson. The site itself was a collection of artists, musicians, and filmmakers who came together to work on high concept projects. The site was described as a very private and somewhat mysterious place for net artists to hang out and create web art without it being accessed by the public. The domain was sold by Aronson in 2009 to domain investor Rick Latona, who put it up for auction several times in 2010 with the reserves up to $1.5 million. I think the website got popular because of the name, and also because back then when people tried to get on the website, it would say you're not invited or no access granted, but other than that, that's it. Human Being 15. This is talking about a certain YouTube channel called Human Being 151 or Insomniac back in the day. The YouTube channel has a couple of videos, but the most popular video that many are familiar with is the video where a human being shows a video like a room full of notebooks with all of them saying the same line over and over again inside. All of the notebooks claim to say the same thing over and over again, which is, quote, "Brother Didi, please accept," quote. In all his videos, he has one message in the bottom, which is Didi needs to check his MySpace inbox because he's been sent a very important message. To many, this is just some fan that has an intense obsession over P. Diddy. But not all his videos were about P. Diddy, he did have some regular ones too, but later on many found out that Human Being was simply a YouTube channel that got banned because he kept using certain keywords to gain views on old YouTube. His YouTube channel and Google Plus account were linked so many others were able to see what he was about. He had several other channels of just him singing and showing his love for music, but mainly what this guy was doing was he was just using keywords to trick the old YouTube algorithm so he can gain more views and attraction. People even found his Facebook, to which it appears to be just some kid flexing some of his wealth. So this is no longer a mystery, but I guess the only mystery that is left is whether he actually wrote down P. Diddy in all those notebooks. Nobody Here tells the story of Vaporwave and its evolution into the internet's most aesthetic and celebrated microgenre. From what I can find about this, it's about a video on YouTube called Nobody Here. It was uploaded on July 19, 2009. It's basically a video displaying vaporwaves for the first time with the song playing in the background. It's said to be the very first version of Vaporwave to exist on the internet. But other than that, there's not much else to the entry. Or it might be about a website called nobodyhere.com that lets the user generate silly content. But other than that, that's all I can find about it. Pubulus Enigma. Pubulus Enigma is an unofficial historical project focused on Pink Floyd's Post. A series of odd messages started showing up on Pink Floyd around the time the Division Bell and the subsequent tour was launched. The poster, going by the name Pubulus, claimed that he had a message to convey from Pink Floyd that tied in with central themes from their newest album. People began to assume that he was actually in some way associated with the band rather than a joker, although skeptics were abounded. Pubulus and Enigma would actually show up in the lights display during shows a few more times, including an occasion captured on a Pulse video. The band denied having any pre-knowledge of these events, while the light director claimed that he had no idea what was going on and that he would never do such a thing. Things became stranger yet as the words Enigma and Pubulus showed up in tiny print on the Momentary Lapse of Reason minidisc released in 1994. The messenger proposed a riddle in connection with the 1994 Pink Floyd album, with the Division Bell promising that the answer would lead to a reward. Douglas Adams, who was the one that was credited giving the album name its title, denied having any knowledge with this riddle or puzzle going on, and even stating, quote, "So as far as this previous thing is concerned, I don't know anything for sure. All I can say is it sounds like nothing at all that the band would do. They're doing a serious job making sure the tour goes well, and sounds everything like something that a fan with too much time on his hands would dream up." Sentimental Corp. This is talking about a website called Sentimental Corp. At first I thought this was talking about SCPs, but I guess we're too deep for those little stories. This is another one of those websites that if you visit it, it presents this dark and disturbing feeling. The more you click on the links, the bigger it gets. It will present the viewer with disturbing images to like random chilling videos with distorted music playing in the background. The site has dozens of videos uploaded to it, so people behind the website have dedicated a lot of time to making this. Like I said, the website is huge, filled with links that lead to other links, and it will present strange, disturbing videos. Upon my searching, I didn't really find anything that gave me the chills, but the website is still up till this day. FusionAnomaly.net. This is a website that I found is still up till this day. that was created in 1999. The way I can explain this website is sort of like a wiki page for like science and fusion anomaly. My understanding of the website is that it's just a website showing a ton of like information and links that lead to other links and information. None of the content on the website is disturbing, but I guess it's just weird, I guess. Now, once you click on a few of the links, you'll discover that the fusion anomaly is littered all over the place. Pages are also organized as nodes, and clicking on the word node will lead you to an index. Most of the links are just more information about ramblings and conspiracy theories, nothing really harmful. Worlds.com cult. Worlds.com, or Worlds Chat as it used to be called, is a virtual online world game, basically an MMO where you explore the world and you get to interact with other players in this virtual world. The game was introduced to the general public in 1995. The interface has like a section for software notifications, sort of like similar to Doom, a window chat for like chat messages, and like a navigation station map. The game is really old and has pretty much been abandoned. Now, the reason it says cult next to it is because since the game's abandonment, there has been many rumors spreading. Rumors say that the MMO has endgame cults and doxing and graphic imagery spread throughout it, even virtual stalking allegations. There are claims that there was a room full of naked photos of people in a room with their names under photos, I believe. Despite having no players, there is said to be a small group of people with a leader recruiting people to like a part of their cult. Basically, a cult developing within an MMO game that no longer has a large enough player base is strange nonetheless. There's a whole rabbit hole in this case, and I highly recommend watching Nexpo's video about it, where he explores and documents the whole mystery and cult if you're really interested. And that wraps up the video. I really hope you guys all enjoyed. I hope it was as entertaining as I wish it was for you guys to stick around to the end. But yeah, that's pretty much it for part 1. We got to tier 3. Next video we will cover 4 through 6. And I think that video should be out by like next week. Honestly, these videos, I'm sorry, first of all, I'm sorry for the delay for these videos. They do take a bit more time to edit and actually research. But other than that, thank you all for watching, and consider subscribing if you enjoy this type of content, and stick around for part 2. But other than that, just thank you for watching, subscribe, like, and that's about it. Bye.